Romelu Lukaku. Let's get down to business. Why is that name coming back up to all West Ham fans? Well, I tell you why. Because West Ham are linked with Lukaku. Now, that's a name that all West Ham fans know really, really well. Why? Because he has scored 11 goals in 17 games against our beloved West Ham. He's also bagged 4 assists during that time as well. But the guy comes with a history of scoring goals no matter the club, no matter what country he has played in. The Belgium international is supposedly up for leaving Chelsea, and West Ham are trying to put themselves in contention with bringing Lukaku to the London Stadium. Now, put your comments in and let me know your thoughts. Is it a yes or is it a no? He is 30 years old and he does have a ridiculously good goal scoring record against West Ham, but not just West Ham in the Premier League. He has scored over 120 Premier League goals throughout his career to date, and that tally puts him up to 20th place on the all-time list according to the Premier League website. Could you imagine the carnage that Romelu Lukaku and Mikel Antonio would cause in a West Ham shirt at the London Stadium? Could you imagine the defences? Could you imagine Lukaku on the end of a JWP set piece, a ball whipped in from the wing? Someone who has been prolific up top for his career has struggled as of late with regards to injuries, and also just struggling in general in Italy because of some of the issues that have been going on off the field. But it looks likely that he is going to be leaving Chelsea because things are not going to work out there under Pochettino. He was once the darling of Stamford Bridge, but he has been a tad unpredictable and he finds himself in a very difficult situation. He's training solo at Chelsea, and that could really offer a lot of uncertainty for his future. And the trajectory hasn't been looking that great. And people have been touting him with moves to Saudi Arabia, suggesting that clubs out there are very keen to bring him out to the country. Not just West Ham, though, are forming an orderly queue. You're hearing rumours of Tottenham also expressing an interest for a potential loan deal for the striker. But it doesn't just stop there, because Chelsea and Juventus are trying to negotiate to see if there's something to be done, but that looks like that's hit a brick wall. And also, it looks like Juventus fans don't really necessarily want Lukaku coming in. But instead of Lukaku going back to Inter Milan and rekindling some of the old memories, Lukaku didn't really seem to be really up for it, to be honest with you. And, you know, Pochettino has been very open about players that don't necessarily want to be at the club. That's the big problem. So he is now being forced to look for another club. And the issue you've got with a player like Lukaku is that he is on quite high weekly wages, and West Ham will not smash that budget. However, if a deal can be done to bring him in, it would probably mean he would be one of the, or if not the highest paid player at West Ham. Are we looking a gift horse in the mouth? I sometimes feel like we do that when it comes to signings, because maybe we think that they're past it. Maybe we think that they are not able to do what they once were able to do. I don't believe that necessarily fits the profile for Romelu Lukaku. I think he's still got something about him, absolutely more than that, to be honest with you. You know, in a struggling campaign last year, he still scored 13 goals and assisted 7. So he was involved in goal involvements in 20 goals after playing over 35 games for Inter Milan, covering all competitions. In actual fact, he scored more than 13 goals. He actually scored 14 goals, covering all competitions for Inter Milan. The season before, for Chelsea, he played 26 times in the Premier League, scoring 8 goals with 1 assist. Then the FA Cup, he had 6 games with 3 goals. In the Champions League, he had 2 goals and 1 assist in 6 games as well. And in the Club World Cup, scored 2 in 2 for them there. He was obviously with Inter Milan previously. In the season before that, at Serie A, he scored 24 goals and assisted 10 times in 36 games. The guy has got 249 career goals to his name at club level. At club level. And he is played 502 times. The guy knows how to find the back of the net with 81 assists as well. At international level, he's played 108 times for Belgium's first team, scoring 75 goals. He is the captain of the Belgian national team. Are we looking a gift horse in the mouth? The player is an out-and-out striker. The issue would be down to his recent struggles, and would he be able to overcome any of the previous history of injuries that he's had? But West Ham, supposedly, according to reports, are interested in bringing the Belgium captain to the club. And for me, listen, I'm game. I'm absolutely game for Lukaku. If I had to rate this one in particular, I think he would maybe be 50-50. And 50-50 on the basis of, are West Ham genuinely interested in him? And if West Ham are genuinely interested in him, I can't see how this one wouldn't work in our favour. Could you imagine a starting lineup of Lukaku and Antonio, or one of them sits on the bench as the other one comes off the bench? You know, all defences would be worried. The risk factor is history, record of injuries, and also his weekly wage. Will we even go anywhere near it? There's rumours that he's earning upwards of 300k. We're never going to pay that. We're never going to pay 200k for him, so he's going to have to take a massive pay cut. However, if he is going to be leaving Chelsea, the situation could be that he may have to negotiate a deal to leave the club that could cover his wages, a bit like what the whole Harry Maguire situation was. Pay him off, and then he comes to another club and reignites his career. The guy's got the history of doing it. He loves scoring against West Ham. So instead of him going to another Premier League club and scoring against West Ham, why don't West Ham put him in our team and get that frightfulness ability that he has definitely got? People may slag me off for even remotely considering an option of bringing him into the West Ham team, but I feel like it goes back to the same situation of, we can't look a gift horse in the mouth just because he's 30 years old. He's not past it. He's far from past it. There's been struggles in Italy, not just on the park, but off the park. You know, he was very outspoken over some racial incidences, and he was rightly so outspoken about it. And I believe he was in a ban because of his outspokenness, but that was overturned. And I think we all know all the situation that goes on in Serie A sometimes. So a move permanently back to the Premier League with a club that can put your arm around you under a manager like David Moyes, who would play with a system to him, put the ball in the box to him, then that's a no-brainer. The guy's a natural born finisher. The guy could hold off a defender. No ifs or buts or maybes. You put Lukaku up against some of the best defenders in the world, his strength alone knows how to jockey away from that defender and smash the ball into the back of the net. That's a player that I feel like West Ham could get a couple of years out of. No ifs or buts or maybes. Simple as that. Romelu Lukaku, come to West Ham. I'll take that any day of the week. Let's just hope that they, if the deal's going to be made, can negotiate a good deal for the club, can negotiate a good deal for the player. You see it as a gamble. I don't maybe see it as a gamble, but a player that's got the ability to put the ball into the back of the net. Not guaranteed, but borderline guaranteed. His whole history, I'm sitting here looking at it in front of me now. You know, you look at every single season from the moment that he entered into England, even from before that, but from just using England as an example, when he broke the mold when he went to West Brom, 17 Premier League goals in 35 appearances and 7 assists. He then went to Everton, 15 goals in 31 appearances the next season with 8 assists. The following season in the Premier League, 10 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League in 36 games. The following season, 18 Premier League goals and 7 assists in 37 games. The following season, 25 goals and 6 assists in 37 games. Obviously, then Manchester United, what happens? 16 goals in 34 games for them before the following season, which dropped down 12 goals and 1 assist in 32 games for them. The guy's got a history of putting the ball in the back of the net, and I think that's what West Ham needs. Put your comments in. It's only a short and sweet one for you today. Lukaku to West Ham, yes or no? Put it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Please give us a cheeky like, leave a comment as well. Simply though, as simply as I can put it, I would like Lukaku at West Ham. Why not? Give me your reasons why. Take it easy and come on, you irons.